I'm gonna tell you when to get ready to share the video.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Um,
Black dot, I mean red dot, the big red
yes.
dot. Okay.
Okay, we should be on here, Kim.
Count me down. You ready?
Hmm.
Am I ready?
Hmm.
Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Red Door Conversations podcast. Thank you all for joining us for episode number 6. The title of this show is Top Tech Tools to Help Your Business Thrive During COVID and Beyond. You're going to want to tune in to this one. So let me introduce my co-host who will be joining me in the discussion today, Miss Lisa B. White, all the way in Pearland, Texas.
Yes. Hello.
Hey there, hey there. Hey, Miss Marla Lewis with Entourage Real Estate.
Hey y'all, how's it going?
All right. Miss Tana Young, how you doing out there in the
I'm
woodlands?
doing good. How are you guys doing?
Excellent. Today we have a special guest joining us, an expert, a tech expert. Let me say that. Miss Deborah Johnson. She is the CEO and of DC Presentations, and she will be giving us the top tech tools that you'll want to tune in for. So get your pen and paper down, get ready, take notes. This is going to be good. But first, we are going to dive into a red hot topic, a really important red hot topic. Marla,
Yes.
what's going on with this census?
Man, Kim, we've been getting data in, and we all know that, the US Census is going on right now.
Right.
The issue, Kim, is that it's being reported that African Americans we're lacking in reporting ourselves with the US Census. And so it's so important because people don't understand that they need to be counted. One, it only happens every 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I hear people talk about what we can do within communities, especially poor communities, especially people of color communities. But we got to talk about the census, because without talking about that, then, we put ourselves in a certain type of situation, because we need to be counted in order to get the services that we need within those areas. It's very important. And so I'm making a plea that people will go ahead and be counted. I mean,
so this is the thing I was talking to a friend of mine about, and I was saying, that she's like, well, what does it even matter? I mean, it may not even be real, or it may be real.
It matters a lot.
The one sentence I kept saying was, this is your once in a decade opportunity to get representation for your community, representation for funding, federal funding for programs like schools, roads, and education. This is a once in a decade opportunity for you to get counted. And when you're counted, then we have representation to reflect the number of people in your community. So sometimes we don't connect the dots. That's what I see.
Now let me say this. We all live in diverse communities, so we're going to pretty much get the services that we need, because our communities are filling the forms out, or going online and giving the information. It's really important for those communities that are predominantly African American that need those services. This is the plea that we're making on the show today, because those are the communities that are not getting the proper resources and everything that they're needing, that the other communities per se, example, suburbs are getting.
Mm-hmm.
So that is
Absolutely.
why we're speaking today.
Right.
And
That's
it's so easy to do. I mean, it literally takes anywhere from like 3 to 5 minutes. You go online and you complete it, and that's it. And like you said, Kim, it's very important because, you get that funding for your schools. And even if you have an infant in the house, count that infant, because that lets, them know exactly how many children are going to be, in school in 5 years. And,
Right.
they need to build more schools, but, it provides more funding, and it only takes a few minutes to do.
Yeah.
Not only that, Tana, but even with, when business owners are looking to, during a feasibility period of any kind, you're going to be looking to find out where you want to locate your dental office, or where you want to, if you're a pediatric dentist, it makes sense to put a pediatric dentistry, practice somewhere where there are a bunch of babies around.
Yeah,
But with
Absolutely.
that being said, we've got to be counted. One of the things that I want to address too, not necessarily for the African American community, but there are others that have family members that may not necessarily be legal citizens living with them. We still need that count. It does not mean that, someone is going to report your family member, or you for that matter. In fact, the information taken from the census, it's locked up for, I believe it's 11 years. And so we need that information in order for all of the communities to thrive, for business owners to come, as I stated, for schools to come. There's overcrowding in schools. Well, that's how they take that data and find out where it's most needed. So
that's good.
I just wanted to make sure.
I want us to
that,
put a link, Marla. You have access
okay.
to a link that we can put on the Facebook page so people can easily access, go in and fill out the census data. Do you have that information?
Absolutely. Yes,
Awesome.
absolutely. We can get that link up and go to our Facebook page and make sure that you get counted. And I want to, I don't want to keep harping on it, but I want to say this, because if you have family members that do not have internet access, make it a point when you go over for the weekend to check on them and all of that. Make it a point to go ahead and fill it out for them. It's really very easy, as Tana said. I had my son do it for us, and I was in the kitchen, cooking, and he said, well, Mom, what do you want me to put here? What do you? So it's that simple, is what I'm saying.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good. So
Okay,
Lisa.
guys. Yes. Okay. We're going to delve right into the show because we have someone pretty special for you. Deborah is a person that I've been knowing, I believe, for 16 or 17 years. She is a personal friend of mine, a very close friend, one of my best friends. She's been a professional corporate trainer for over 20 years and 20 years of experience, and she uses best practices and evidence-based trainings in an adult learning theory. She holds a BS from Langston University, and she has an MBA in family studies from Texas Women's University. She's received many awards. One of them I want to mention is she received a distinguished award from the YMCA of Greater Houston as Volunteer of the Year, and she's also received the Top 100 Prezzies Educators Worldwide Award. As the founder and CEO of an independent training and presentation design agency, Deborah has assisted professionals with the creation of dynamic presentations by offering corporate template, virtual, and face-to-face trainings and consulting services. Guys, please let me welcome again to the show, Miss Deborah Johnson.
Hello, everyone. Hi. I'm very happy and excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I can't wait to dive into all this tech stuff that we want to learn and talk about.
Let's talk about it. Let's get into it.
So Deborah, for the small business owner or large anybody, what would you say is the best platforms for them to use if they're trying to conduct their business virtually?
Okay, that's a great question, Lisa. so many different video conferencing platforms out there, and it really is based off of what your need is as a small business owner, or if you're an enterprise, corporate, or larger. It really depends on your needs. So there's several ones out there, and I'm just going to pretty much talk about the norms, the ones that are usually being utilized right now. You have the ones like WebEx, Skype Business, GoToMeeting. A lot of us are familiar with Skype because we have that on our phones and we utilize that a lot. But when it comes to doing webinars, and a lot of companies use Skype Business. A company that I work with, they use Skype Business, and the difference with that is everybody within your company have access to. They could go in and have one-on-one meetings. IT can work through Skype Business to probably do some stuff through your computer. So that's a really cool feature that Skype Business have, where they could take control over your computer. So if you're a company that needs to have some type of IT tech, you're having IT issues, then Skype Business can be utilized for that. WebEx can also. However, when it comes to user-friendly features, like what some of the other video conference platforms like Zoom and the new Facebook Rooms, WebEx and Skype for Business, personally, in my opinion, is not as user-friendly. There is a learning curve to it. And so, I mean, I think all of those platforms, the ones I just named off, are pretty good, just depending on what the need of your business is. Are you just conducting one-on-one meetings, or are you actually doing trainings where, you know, you're doing hour-long trainings and you're having to share your screen and presentations and you want to see people? And so I will get into a little bit more of the other conferencing side, video conferencing platforms for those.
So you mentioned something about a learning curve, Deborah. The biggest thing I think a lot of people, biggest fears a lot of people have is that they don't know a lot about technology, and it's frightening enough to FaceTime someone on a cell phone, let alone try to conduct a business meeting or collect any data from a client where they don't really necessarily understand the platform and that person doesn't either. So of the top, 5 that you just mentioned here, which one would you say would be for people who have a pretty severe learning curve when it comes to technology? Which one is the easiest, would you say, to implement in, like, this is our first meeting, I want to introduce myself, I want to get to know you? Which platform would be best for a person who needed that type of service?
Okay. Yeah, I would have to say, not just because I work with this particular platform all the time and I love it to death, but I love Zoom. I've been utilizing Zoom for 4 years before it even became popular. And it's really easy to utilize. I use Zoom with some of my, I train foster parents also too, and they're in their 70s and 80s, and they're on Zoom. And so they're able to, I give them a little bit of guidance, but they're able to log in. They just click on the link, put in the password. They're able to turn their volume up, and they don't have to have a computer in order to do that. And so I think Zoom is really user-friendly. There's a few, things that I could probably show a person how to do. I do Zoom demos. I've done a lot lately, and it's very user friendly for the main features like sharing the screen. But yeah, I would say Zoom, and then just looking at and doing research with Facebook Rooms, and that's a direct competitor now for Zoom. They're pretty user friendly too.
Okay, so Zoom first, and then maybe Facebook meeting as a second option.
Yes.
And then you said you offer demo instructions. So how would someone contact you to coordinate a demo for, say, a Zoom meeting or Zoom platform?
So I'm glad you asked me that question. I'm actually, when we finish here, I'm gonna post on my page a free demo that people can just click in and log in on and see, kind of like the setup you have here, where we're in a Zoom meeting, but we're able to Facebook Live it. So I'll be setting that up. And so when I do the Zoom demos, I share my screen. You can see everything I go through. I go through it one by one, kind of like I'm going to make myself disappear right now so y'all can see how to put these backgrounds in like this.
Wow.
And add any type of, for businesses, again, you could personalize your background. So I have another one like this. You can add all of that stuff. So I'll show you how to do those, how to find great pictures also for Zoom meetings, and then also find videos too. So just want to know that. And then I'll also go over how to set up different, schedule your meetings and put those privacy features in, implement those when you scheduling so you won't be hacked, because unfortunately, before Zoom got popular, I was one that was hacked. I've been hacked before.
Wow.
That's what it's called.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was going to be my next question, Deborah. Which platform is most secure where we won't experience being hacked and things of that nature?
I really, all of them are at risk for being hacked. Really, they are. Even they just put out a news article that Zoom rooms, collecting. They said they weren't collecting, but they are collecting some information. But all of them pretty much have the encryptions already in there. And then I know Zoom have set up a lot of new things. They're doing automatic download tomorrow. They have scheduled, but they put in a lot of new features, like you have to make sure you have your password protected. The personal meeting ID room numbers need to be changed. They're enabling the waiting room, and so they are putting in a lot of features and privacy features that will help from getting hacked or Zoom bombed or whatever you want to call it. But I really don't think any platform is 100% safe from being hacked, because we get smarter with technology. These hackers are definitely getting smarter with how to get our information or come into our meetings. So, but you really have to set up meetings to where you won't. It's less likely that you'll be hacked.
Now,
Okay.
so let me, this is just piggybacking on that hacking question, Tana, then I'll let you get your question in. So if you're conducting a meeting and you are hacked, what is the process? What is the next thing you should do once you realize you've been hacked?
Okay, so great question again. When I was hacked, I was doing a training. It was it was a private training. It was with foster parents. We were discussing very sensitive topics, and somebody just started writing on my screen. And we couldn't see who it was. It was just us in the meeting. Started writing. And so, we all signed back out, came back in, and it was the same thing. So we pretty much was like, okay, we're not going to discuss anything personal. We're going to keep it basic. But when I ended the meeting, I contact Zoom with their customer service number. And they were very good at responding to me and letting me know. And they went into my account and they said, oh, well, you didn't use a password. You were using the same PMI number. You allowed your participants to join before you. And so I was like, yeah, I did all of those things. So now I make sure going forward, I don't, I'm the first one in the meeting and then everybody else can come in, because the hacker was already there and we didn't know it. And so you want to contact customer service so they can look at your account. They can actually tell you too, if it was somebody in your meeting that was playing games and was using the features to kind of hack into you, they'll let you know that too. They could tell you the IP address it came from. So they'll do an investigation. And so they were able to do that with me, which I definitely appreciated. And I found it wasn't anybody in our meeting who we were thinking it was. They were already there once I logged in. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Now you mentioned you was using the same PIN number. Do you recommend that you change it each time that you have a meeting?
Yes. So you don't, all you have to do when you're setting up your Zoom meetings is click on generate automatically, and it'll be a PMI number every single time. Do not use your personal one. You have a personal one that you can you can use for like the quick meetings where you don't send out an invite and it's really like, hey, I need to talk to you real quick, put this number in and we could, chat. I wouldn't suggest using that for regular meetings, because once a person have your PMI number, they can access your Zoom accounts and come into your Zoom account at any time. They just put that PMI number in. Have it automatically.
Okay, so for each meeting. Now, I do have to, this is a question for you. Which platform do you recommend? Because we're all realtors. Which one do you recommend for realtors? Do you recommend Zoom, Skype, GoToMeeting, WebEx?
So I think it really, it depends on what you're doing. Are you using it for just a one-on-one meeting or to talk to the buyers, or are you wanting to show a house? And so
that's a great question.
Yeah. So what would you want to utilize for?
It would be for one-on-one meetings with our buyers and our sellers, and then also if we wanted to have a virtual home buyer workshop.
Okay. Yeah, again, I say Zoom. However, Facebook rooms and messenger rooms, it's similar. It really is similar to Zoom. With the Zoom, if you're just having the one-on-one meetings, that works great. One of the features with Zoom is, like we're doing right now, you can record your meetings. So even if you're not having a particular meeting with the buyer and they can't come in and talk to you, or they can't meet with you, you can record whatever you want to say to them. You can put the house in the background, go to your realtor page, go to each one of the rooms and talk about the rooms and record that, and then send that link to the buyer. You really just did a showing by going in and stating all of the amenities and the good things about stuff. Yeah. Recorded it, and you could send that out to as many people as you want, and all they do is click on it and they see you showing the house through your screen. I like that feature from Zoom to do something like that, so you don't actually have to have an open house. That's kind of like a virtual open house. And then with the Facebook rooms, if you want to do like a buyer's informational, you can definitely do something like that, because it'll be on live, and then everybody can, whoever is on Facebook can come in and join. And then there's a notice going out too. And so that's always a good way to get the information out too. You can have anybody who is your friend to join that. Unlike Zoom, you got to send the link directly to them.
That's good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So Deborah, let me ask you this question. What you mentioned several platforms, WebEx, GoToMeetings, Zoom is your favorite, I can tell, and then Facebook meetings. Are there any costs that are associated with any of these platforms?
Yes. So, well, I take that back. Except for Facebook rooms and Messenger room, it's free if you have a Facebook account.
Okay.
For Skype business, GoToMeeting, and Zoom, they're pretty much all the same. If you, they all offer usually a basic free account. WebEx do, and Zoom does too. The only difference with the WebEx and the Zoom is there's a limit, a time limit on their free account. For Zoom, it's 40 minutes. Although WebEx, they don't have a time limit, but they do have a limit on how many people can be on the free account. So we could basically do a one-on-one meeting for free in Zoom and WebEx. WebEx is unlimited time, and it's the same kind of like Skype for business cost, and you have to download it in a package, so that's a little bit different. But if you don't want a free account and you want to personalize it with your logo and things of that sort, then it's about, I think it's about $18 a month. It's not that much. It's very inexpensive. You can have many people in a meeting as you want. The time limit is unlimited, and so and that's for WebEx, that's for GoToMeeting and Zoom. So if you just need a general account, it's usually about $25 or under. It's not that expensive.
Okay.
Now,
Now, Deborah, do you?
and
Okay.
I have a quick question. As far as all of the platforms that you are comparing for us go, does all of them, do they all have the same capabilities as far as muting everybody? Say if you have a large group, is there one that's more chaotic than the other, or, you know?
That's a great question. I'm not exactly sure if Facebook rooms and Messenger rooms is set up for the mute all. They probably are if they're a direct competitor with Zoom. WebEx, yes. WebEx is more of a webinar based. So let's, for example, if you just want to present, but you don't really want to have a lot of interaction, you don't need to see the people, I will utilize something like WebEx. Zoom have a feature, it's called Zoom Webinar, but it's expensive. And that's more of the webinar format to where we're not, interacting like this, presenting something to you. And then it's like Q&A, you have Q&A sessions and stuff like that. And then, so yes, Skype doesn't have the mute all, and GoToMeetings, they do have the mute all, and that is those features that you definitely want to utilize.
Now, Deborah, do you have do you recommend like a certain mic that we should use for these platforms, or?
No, well, no, usually, if you have your headset on, I know a lot of people, because they have surrounding noise, but if you just use your computer, because that's what I'm on right now, and I think everybody can hear me fine. So it just depends on, in this platform, if y'all are doing, I know some podcasts, they do have certain equipment set up, and so whatever would connect to your computer to allow the sound to come through better, you can utilize that. But if you want it to be like a little bit more professional and sound a little bit more clear, then yes, I would recommend a mic. I don't know what type of mic, but you just kind of have to do the research on which one will work with the computer best. But those platforms do allow you to connect to an outside source as far as like a microphone or stereo.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Man,
and there was one more thing y'all mentioned about features. I think Marla, you asked about the features. One of the thing again about Zoom is I like as a trainer is I utilize the breakout rooms a lot. And
that's a good one.
Yeah, it's basically like group, if you want to have a group discussion and you have 20 people in the room, you can send them all to their own separate rooms and they can have a discussion.
Wow.
My son does that. He has acting classes on Saturdays, and so the acting teacher, she has them do the breakout rooms.
Yes, it's a wonderful feature. You could pop in on them and see what about. And then also for businesses such as like doctors' offices, counselors, even teachers, anybody that take appointments, they utilize a feature in Zoom called the waiting room. And it's just like a waiting room. Everybody get the same link. They're told what time to show up. And so I just set up a client with interview. And so they're using one link, sending it out to everybody they're going to interview, but they gave them a specific time. And so let's just say one is at 10 and one is 11. The people are still in the Zoom room interviewing the one candidate. The other interviewee is waiting in the waiting room. And so once they finish, they'll remove the one person that they already interviewed, and they'll have the one in waiting join. And so I that feature, especially it's like a doctor's office. It's like, you're actually waiting in the waiting room until it's your time to join the meeting. So that's a pretty cool feature to use.
That's really cool. That is cool.
So before we go, Deborah, how can they reach you? If someone wants to contact you to expand on what we've introduced today, how can you be reached?
Great question. I am on Facebook. I'm under DZ Presents, which I'll provide all that information in the comments. I'm on Instagram. I have a website. It's under construction right now, but it's DZ as in Zebra Presents with an S.com. And then that's pretty much it. And I'm on LinkedIn under DZ presentation. So any of the social media platforms I'm on. But like I said, I will be for next week hosting a Zoom demo. So I'll do it via Zoom and do a Facebook Live. So definitely encourage everybody to attend that if they can. It would be for free. So
I'll be on.
okay.
Same here. Yep.
Yes,
You'll see us
me too. I
again.
need
You'll
it.
definitely be seeing us again. Well, Deborah, I want to thank you so much for joining us. We got a lot of good information from you, and I'm sure our viewers did as well. Just remember, guys, to go ahead and like our Facebook page and also our Instagram page at Red Door Conversations. And again, thank you guys for tuning in.
All right. Well, until next time, we'll see you then.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.